Have I ever told you guys how much I love CMC episodes? Because I do. So while every CMC episode may not be the best episode ever, this one, I feel like Twilight Time is a really good episode. And I feel like it has a really good lesson more for actually adults than anything. Because most of the time, adults, we have quote-unquote famous friends. You know, like, some people actually have friends that are relatively famous. And it's nice to see, like, an episode that tackles the idea of people taking advantage of someone being famous. Because up to this point, Twilight's really not been, like, all that famous. In this episode, she deals with it fairly well, actually. I figured that she was going to be the one getting starstruck. I didn't, like, count on the fact that the CMC was going to get starstruck. I expected Twilight to be, like, all caught up in the fame and stuff. Which, I mean, granted, it's a really good show of her character that, you know, she is not. She's very grounded, I suppose, would be a good term to use for it. But I think that she feels like it's not that big a deal. Like, she's like, yeah, I got these wing things. I don't care. Because honestly, she's the same pony that Ponyville has known for, what, years now? She doesn't understand why Phillies are making a big deal out of it. Let me rephrase that. I think she knows, like, why, because she's like, yeah, I'm a princess. I get why, but I'm also the same pony you've known for years, so it's not really that big a deal. Although I have to say, I still and will probably always hate Diamond Tiara. I don't know what it is about her character. I just can't stand her. I just hate her so much. And I can't find a redeeming quality about her. I cannot. And I feel like we need to have some sort of Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon origin story, their own episode, something. Because I just feel like there's potential there. I mean, Silver Spoon, granted, is okay. She has glimmers of hope in her in a few episodes. But Diamond Tiara gets none of that. Like, even a subtle, like, note of remorse or anything. But no, Diamond Tiara never shows any remorse for any of the actions that she does. Ever. And half the time she doesn't get punished for them, at least not in this season she hasn't been punished for nearly anything. I mean, granted, she didn't do really that much that was bad in this episode, but still, I just can't stand her. And I hope that someday we get some sort of backstory as to why Diamond Tiara is so bratty, so snooty, whatever. Maybe her father is one of those fathers who's always busy, never has time for her, and she craves attention, and therefore is doing all these things to impress the Phillies at school because she's actually lonely at home. Again, is diving into psychology, which I'm not gonna do because I'm getting off track on this episode. So anyway, back to the episode before I got off my Diamond Tiara tangent. This episode is about the CMC and how Twilight's teaching them how to broaden their horizons, I suppose. She's teaching Sweetie Belle how to use her magic properly. And actually, we get a very good glimpse into unicorn magic, which I find fascinating. I love unicorn magic, and I want to learn so much about it. Like, I wish I could get Twilight's entire section on magic and just learn everything about it, because it's so fascinating. I find unicorn magic to be such a phenomenon and something I really want to learn more about. But anyway, she points out something interesting. She says the broom weighs a ton. So that makes me wonder, like, does magic have a weight thing? Like, relatively weight? Like, I know the broom's not heavy, but it's just, like, it's very interesting, and I really want to learn more. Like, why does her horn have something to do with it? Is the strength of her magic that's making the broom feel like it's heavy? There's just so many things I could delve into with that one topic alone. Anyway, she's also teaching Scootaloo how to reassemble a scooter. Or, not a scooter, a unicycle. Which actually is pretty cool. I feel like that may actually lead Scootaloo to a destiny that no fans probably thought of. Most fan art, as far as I can tell, that depicted Scootaloo were of her becoming a Wonderbolt and showing up at dashes when, you know, she's the captain and stuff like that. However, I feel like now she might be a mechanic. It actually makes sense because she loves to ride her scooter and she's learning how to disassemble and reassemble machines. And so she could become a mechanic, in which case her wings have nothing to do with anything. She doesn't need them to be a mechanic. And I think that's way better than what we were coming up with. I think that's really cool. It just makes for, in my opinion, a better thing, because I wasn't seeing that at all. I didn't ever think that Scootaloo could be a mechanic. And she's also teaching Apple Bloom, I almost said Sweetie Belle, Apple Bloom to grow apple trees, which that's actually interesting because, well, I mean, besides it being her name, Apple Bloom, get it? It actually makes me wonder, like, could Apple Bloom become a harvester? Could she crossbreed seeds and make better apple trees eventually at some point? Not obviously now. Because back in season 1, we thought, oh, hey, she is good with colors and artistic stuff. She could be a designer. But nope, the namesakes always show up, so we gotta make something with their name in it. And I mean, that's fine. Like, I don't know how to feel about Apple Bloom, because I love Apple Bloom's character, and I want to know where she goes with her destiny, but Apple Bloom growing apple trees, I don't know, it feels like the whole apple name thing is just really, I don't want to say unimaginative, but I just wish that she could do something different. I still like it because she's using chemistry to do it. That's the cool thing, is she's using chemistry and potions and stuff, and so technically, she could become Zakura's protege and learn how to mix potions up and stuff and, again, grow better apple trees. That would be cool. And I'm sure Applejack would love the poo out of that. So, basically, the plot summary of this episode is the Cutie Mark Crusaders are learning stuff from Twilight. They tell them about it at school. All the fillies want to go meet Twilight because she's a princess, and that's all. They don't really want to learn for learning's sake, which would be the exact opposite of me, because I would love to learn from Twilight. That'd be so awesome to learn just everything about everything in Equestria. That'd be cool. That's pretty much all I'm going to talk about. That's it. That's the episode. I'm not going to talk about the episode because there's something more. There is this diagram that's shown at least 3 times. I didn't count them, but it's shown a lot in the background. And I think it's more than a little nudge from the makers of the show. It's a diagram of the Box of Harmony. Now, I'm going to put a picture up of this thing, and I'm going to do a real quick Google search so I can get it up on my screen right now. This thing looks really, really interesting. So here's the thing about this diagram. It doesn't show anything we can read. There is no text that we can read of this thing. But it looks like Twilight's been taking some really good time to learn, like, what all this thing has and how it appears to work. And I really love this about DHX because they're, like, keeping continuity even in the subtlest of ways. And I absolutely love that. I love when shows do continuity because it just feels like one big thing. So about this box, it appears that the box opens in 2 bits from the diagram. Now, granted, we don't know if it does because no one's opened the box yet. And the keyholes are obviously keyholes. So that's the thing I'm curious on, is if they're keyholes, then how do the threads and the pins and all that other stuff work? Like, how are they going to fit? Are they going to transform into keys? That's an interesting thought. I wish we could read the text. Now, granted, it was a thing in the background, so obviously they're not going to put the entire text, but it's still interesting to look at. And it really gives you a good idea of, like, how it's designed and stuff. Like, it shows what appears to be, I'm guessing, the top, or it could be the bottom. I'm not entirely sure because it doesn't say. But there's actually Twilight's cutie mark on the top/bottom. It shows a close-up view of one of the keyholes and what appears to be how the mechanism opens up. And then it shows kind of a diagram. It appears that there may only actually be 3 keys. That's interesting. I didn't notice that until just now. Because there's not 6 keys. It shows a side diagram of it, and I'm not seeing, unless this diagram's not finished, I'm not seeing 6 keys. I'm seeing 3. So, what does this mean? I'm not entirely sure. So, does the main 6 become the main 3 now? This is interesting. This opens up so many possibilities, and I love it. Unfortunately, I wish this diagram was a little bit more detailed and had labels, at least, that we could read, because I can't make heads or tails of it. Like, it appears from the side angle that the diagram shows, there's only 3 keyholes. And where does everybody else's keys come in? Is this box contain another box on the inside that has 3 more keyholes? Like, what is this box? It is so perplexing, and I just want to know. I want to know what's in that box. So that's about going to do it for this episode, guys. Honestly, I know I didn't talk that much about the episode, But I felt like the episode was a good episode. I liked it. It was not the perfect episode. It was not a horrible episode. I know I didn't talk a smidge about the episode. I talked more about all the other stuff that interests me. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic day. Remember, stay brony, my ponies. Don't feed those parasprites. And as always, happy gaming. I'll check you guys on the flip side. Bye!